Beloved, life is not a coincidence. The steps of a righteous person are ordered by the Lord. Sometimes you may not understand where you are, why you are there, or what God is doing, but listen carefully. God is directing your steps. He is the unseen hand guiding you through the valleys and over the mountains. When you walk with Him, even the detours and delays are divine directions in disguise. You are not lost, you are being led. Let me share with you 6 clear signs that God is directing your steps. When you see these signs, you can lift your hands and say, Lord, I trust you. I may not see the full picture, but I know you are leading me. Beloved, when you see these signs, don't doubt, don't fear. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. Every step you take in faith is a step in God's direction. Even when the path is uncertain, the one who leads you never is. Lift your eyes, open your heart, and declare, the Lord is directing my steps. When God begins to direct your steps, one of the first signs you will experience is a holy discontent within your heart. It is that subtle stirring deep inside that tells you something is shifting. You may not be able to explain it, but you feel it. Things that once satisfied you suddenly seem empty. What once felt comfortable now feels too small. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something greater is coming. God often begins His work in your spirit long before you see anything in the natural. The uneasiness you feel is heaven whispering that there is more ahead, that you have outgrown your current season and that God is preparing to lead you higher. Many times we think divine direction always comes with a clear voice or supernatural vision, but often it begins as restlessness. That restlessness is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the gentle hand of God loosening your roots from the ground so He can replant you where you will grow. When a bird nudges its young out of the nest, it looks cruel at first. The chick flaps, trembles, and falls. Yet in that fall it learns to fly. The same happens when God begins to unsettle you. He pushes you out of comfort, not to harm you, but to release your wings of faith. Sometimes holy discontent comes in the form of dissatisfaction with what once felt fulfilling. You may be in a job that you prayed for years ago, but now every day feels heavy. You may be surrounded by success, yet something in you whispers, there must be more than this. That whisper is not greed, it's calling. God uses dissatisfaction to awaken destiny. When everything feels just fine, we often stop listening. So He stirs our hearts to remind us that His plans are still unfolding. He does not want you to settle for good enough when He has called you to greater. Holy discontent can also come through a deep spiritual hunger. You may find yourself craving more of His presence, feeling drawn to prayer, worship, or the Word like never before. It's as if your spirit knows that a new season is near and is preparing for it. God increases your spiritual appetite so you can handle the blessings He is about to pour out. When you sense that hunger, don't ignore it. Feed it, draw closer. Because it is in those moments of holy dissatisfaction that God begins to speak new instructions. But here's what often confuses people. Holy discontent and worldly frustration may look alike on the surface, but they are not the same. Worldly frustration leads to complaining. Holy discontent leads to seeking. One makes you bitter, the other makes you better. The difference lies in where you turn. If your restlessness drives you to pray, to listen, to trust God more, then it is holy. If it drives you away from Him, then it is fleshly. That is why you must discern what God is doing in your spirit. Many of the heroes of faith experienced this same inner stirring before God shifted their lives. Abraham felt it when God called him to leave his father's house. Moses felt it when he could no longer remain silent in Pharaoh's palace. Even Jesus, before beginning His ministry, felt a pull toward the wilderness where He was led by the Spirit. Each one was moved by divine discontent that led to divine direction. So when you feel unsettled, don't rush to escape it. Don't fight to return to comfort. Instead, lean in and ask, Lord, what are you trying to show me? Because that discomfort is often the birthplace of destiny. God is telling you that where you are now is not your final destination. You are being stirred because something greater is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Trust the stirring. It is the language of heaven calling you forward. There are moments in life when the doors we prayed would open suddenly close in front of us. We knock and knock, but no answer comes. We plan carefully, we dream passionately, we prepare diligently, and yet everything seems to stop. It feels like rejection, like failure, like a divine silence that pierces the heart. But when God is directing your steps, closed doors are not rejection, they are protection. What looks like a setback in the natural is often a rescue in the spiritual. God sees what you cannot see. He knows what lies beyond that door you wanted so badly to walk through. Sometimes His greatest mercy is in the doors He does not let you open. We live in a world that teaches us to equate open doors with success and closed doors with defeat. But the truth is, not every open door is from God, and not every closed door is from the enemy. When the Lord leads your life, He closes doors out of love. He blocks paths that would lead to harm, disappointment, or delay. It's like a loving father who won't let his child touch a burning stove even when the child insists on doing it. The child cries, thinking the father is cruel, but the father knows what the child cannot understand. In the same way, God's no today might be saving you from heartbreak tomorrow. There are times when you think you lost an opportunity, but heaven was simply redirecting your path. Maybe that relationship ended, that promotion slipped away, or that business idea failed. You prayed for it, you believed for it, and it still didn't work. Yet what if the thing you're calling disappointment is the very thing keeping you aligned with your destiny? You see, God's plans are always higher. He doesn't just prepare the blessing for you, He prepares you for the blessing. And sometimes that preparation requires the pain of a closed door. When God closes a door, He is not taking something from you, He is making room for something better. But often, we don't see that until much later. Think of Joseph in the Old Testament. Every time it looked like a door shut, when he was thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, or imprisoned, it was actually leading him closer to the palace. Each closed door moved him toward his ultimate purpose. Had he forced his way into any other direction, he might have missed his divine destiny. Likewise, your closed doors are aligning you with something far greater than you can now imagine. Closed doors also reveal the maturity of your faith. It is easy to praise God when everything opens and flows smoothly. But true faith is tested when you hear, know, and still say, Lord, I trust you. When you can worship Him while wondering why you are walking in divine direction. Every believer must learn to thank God for both the open and the closed doors, because both are necessary. The open doors advance you, but the closed doors protect you. You need both to reach your destination safely. Sometimes, the most powerful prayers are the ones God does not answer the way you expect. You might have asked Him to let you stay in a place He was trying to move you from. You might have prayed for someone to stay in your life whom He was removing for your peace. God does not close doors to punish, He closes them to preserve. If you knew what He knows, you would thank Him for every delay, every denial, every detour. And when one door shuts, remember that it's not the end of your story. A closed door does not mean God is done. It means He's doing something different. He may be shifting your direction, preparing a better opportunity, or simply protecting your spirit. The key is not to bang on the door that has closed, but to stand still long enough to hear the next instruction. The same hand that closed one door will open another in His perfect timing. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that every door that shut was a step toward the door that truly mattered. When God is directing your steps, He will often send people into your life who play a divine role in your journey. These are not ordinary encounters. They are divine connections, appointments arranged by heaven to move you closer to your purpose. Sometimes they come in unexpected forms, at unexpected times, and through unexpected people. You might meet someone for a brief moment, but that encounter shifts the entire course of your life. You might cross paths with a mentor, a friend, or even a stranger who speaks a word that resonates deeply within your spirit. That is not coincidence, that is providence. When God is involved, there are no accidents, only assignments. Divine connections carry purpose. They are God's way of guiding your steps through relationships and interactions. He uses people as instruments to open doors, to give you wisdom, to strengthen your faith, or to help you see what you could not see on your own. The Bible shows this again and again. When God wanted to bring David to the palace, He sent Samuel to anoint him. When Ruth's destiny was about to unfold, God arranged for her to meet Boaz. When Saul was blind and confused after encountering Christ, God sent Ananias to restore his sight and confirm his calling. In each story, the connection was not random. It was orchestrated by the hand of God. Many people pray for God's direction, but overlook the people He sends as part of the answer. You might be waiting for a loud voice from heaven, while God is speaking through the voice of a friend. He may use someone to challenge you, to push you forward, or even to correct your path. Sometimes divine connections don't feel comfortable because they stretch you. The person God uses to elevate you may also refine you. They may speak truth you don't want to hear, but need to hear. That's why it's important to stay humble and sensitive to the Spirit. If you are too focused on who you think God should use, you might miss who He actually sends. Divine connections are not always lifelong relationships. Some are seasonal. God may send someone just for a moment to plant a seed that changes everything. You might never see them again, but their impact remains. It could be a teacher who saw potential in you, a co-worker who encouraged you to take a step of faith, or a stranger whose words confirmed something you had been praying about. Never underestimate the power of brief encounters. God can use one conversation to redirect your entire path. At the same time, discernment is crucial. Not everyone who enters your life is sent by God. Some connections distract while others direct. The enemy also sends people, imitations meant to confuse or delay your purpose. That's why you must pray for spiritual discernment. Ask God, Lord, is this a connection you sent or one I attracted? Divine connections always align with peace, purpose, and growth. They will draw you closer to God, not away from Him. They will push you toward obedience, not compromise. You will recognize them by the fruit they produce in your life. When God is leading you, you will begin to notice how certain relationships fit perfectly into your journey. The right people will appear at the right time, carrying wisdom, encouragement, or opportunity. They may not even know they are being used by God, but you will know it in your spirit. It's like puzzle pieces falling into place. You realize that everything and everyone is part of a larger design. If you look back over your life, you can probably see how God has already done this. There were people who came into your path just when you needed guidance, comfort, or direction. They might have offered a single sentence that lifted your spirit or opened your eyes to something you had missed. That was not random. That was divine. God places people strategically to help fulfill His purpose in your life. So when someone new enters your life, pause and pray. Ask God to reveal their purpose in your journey. They could be the connection that unlocks the next chapter of your destiny. And when you meet someone who strengthens your faith, speaks truth into your heart, or stands beside you in prayer, treasure that relationship. Because when God is directing your steps, every connection has a reason, every meeting has meaning, and every person He sends carries a piece of your divine assignment. When God is directing your steps, one of the clearest signs is the peace that settles deep within your heart, even when everything around you seems uncertain. It is not a peace that comes from the absence of problems or the presence of comfort. It is a supernatural calm that flows from knowing who holds your future. This peace is not something the world can give, and it cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. It is the quiet assurance that no matter what happens, God is in control. When this kind of peace rests upon you, it guards your heart like a shield. It silences fear, calms confusion, and reminds you that your path is secure in His hands. Often, when people think of divine direction, they expect clarity first and peace later. But God often works the other way around. He gives peace before understanding. You might not have all the answers, you might not see how things will unfold, but deep inside, there's an unexplainable confidence that says, it's going to be all right. That inner calm is not naivety, it is faith. It's the Holy Spirit whispering, keep walking. You're on the right path. Even when everything around you seems chaotic, His peace becomes your confirmation that you are being led by Him. There are times when peace is the only sign you'll have to move forward. No visions, no voices, no visible doors opening. Just peace. When you pray and feel that stillness settle within you, that's God's gentle way of saying, go ahead, I'm with you. On the other hand, when you lose peace about a decision, even if it looks good on paper, that's God's warning to pause. His peace acts as a divine compass. It leads you when you should move and restrains you when you should wait. That is why you must learn to listen, not only with your mind, but also with your spirit. Sometimes, peace appears in the most unexpected moments. You may be facing a storm in your life, but inside you feel no panic. Others might ask how you can stay calm when everything seems to be falling apart. You can't explain it logically because it doesn't make sense in the natural. That's what makes it divine. It is a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that doesn't depend on what you see but on who you trust. When you walk with God, you can be surrounded by trouble yet remain unmoved because His presence anchors your soul. This peace does not mean you will never feel afraid or uncertain. It means that even in fear, you know where to place your trust. It means that worry no longer controls you because faith has taken root. Many times peace comes after surrender. When you finally stop trying to control everything and place it in God's hands, the tension in your heart breaks. The weight lifts. You realize that you were never meant to carry it all. that release, that quiet moment of letting go, is where His peace enters. God cannot fill what we refuse to release. When you surrender your plans, your timing, and your expectations to Him, peace flows like a river. Throughout Scripture, peace was always a mark of God's presence. When the angel appeared to Mary, His first words were, "Do not be afraid." When Jesus calmed the storm, He said, "Peace, be still." When He appeared to His disciples after the resurrection, He said, "Peace be unto you." Peace has always been God's language to those He loves. It is how He tells your heart, "I'm here. You're safe. Keep trusting me." When you are walking in His direction, peace doesn't mean the path will be easy, but it does mean you will be carried through it. Even in confusion, that peace becomes a steady voice inside that keeps you centered and grounded. It allows you to rest when others are restless and to move forward when others hesitate. It becomes your inner confirmation that you are aligned with heaven's will. And as long as you follow that peace, you will never walk in the wrong direction, because God never leads outside the boundaries of His peace. When God is directing your steps, one of the most powerful signs you will witness is the opening of doors you could never open on your own. These moments often come after seasons of waiting, after you've done everything you can and finally release control into God's hands. Suddenly, an opportunity appears that you didn't chase, a breakthrough comes that you didn't force, or a connection unfolds that you couldn't have arranged even if you tried. That's when you realize that the hand of God has gone before you. His favor creates openings that your effort never could. When He opens a door, no one can shut it, and when He shuts a door, no one can open it. His divine authority governs every pathway of your destiny. There are times when we strive so hard to make things happen in our own strength. We push, plan, and persuade, believing that success depends solely on our effort. But when God leads, He often requires us to stop striving and start trusting. It's not that hard work doesn't matter. It does, but divine timing and favor matter more. There are doors that only open through obedience, not through effort. When God is ready, things that once seemed impossible suddenly become effortless. What you couldn't make happen in years, He can make happen in a moment. When a door opens by God's hand, it carries peace, purpose, and alignment. You won't have to manipulate, beg, or compromise to walk through it. God's opportunities don't come with confusion or chaos. They come with clarity and calm assurance. You will know in your spirit that this is the moment you were waiting for. Sometimes it will happen quietly with no grand announcement. Other times, it will happen in a way that surprises everyone, even you. But no matter how it comes, it will always carry His fingerprints. Divine timing, divine alignment, and divine ease. Consider the story of Esther. She was not born into power or influence, yet God opened a door into the palace that no human could have orchestrated. Her favor with the king was not the result of her strategy, but the result of divine purpose. God positioned her exactly where she needed to be, at the exact moment she was needed. That is how divine doors work. They are not random, they are orchestrated. God arranges circumstances, people, and opportunities in perfect harmony to bring His plan to pass. When a door opens supernaturally, it also comes with grace to handle what's on the other side. Many people pray for open doors, but forget that every door comes with responsibility. God will not open a door until your character is ready to sustain what's behind it. Sometimes the waiting period before the door opens is God's way of building that character. He's strengthening your patience, refining your motives, and deepening your faith so that when the opportunity comes, you can walk through it without being overwhelmed. If the door hasn't opened yet, it's not because God has forgotten you. It's because He's still preparing you. Another thing to remember is that divine openings are never just for personal gain, they are for kingdom purpose. God doesn't open doors merely to make you comfortable. He opens them to make you useful. He blesses you so you can bless others. The promotion, the business opportunity, the ministry platform, or the breakthrough you experience will always carry a greater assignment. When God opens the door, He is also inviting you to represent His heart on the other side. So when you see God opening doors that you could never open, don't boast, be grateful. Don't rush through them, walk humbly. Don't fear what's beyond them, trust the one who opened them. Remember, if you had to force it, it wasn't from Him, but if it opened with peace and purpose, then His hand was in it. The key to walking in divine favor is learning to stop pushing and start praising, to stop manipulating and start trusting. When you let go of control and allow God to lead, the right doors will open at the right time, and no one will be able to shut them. When God is directing your steps, Delays are never denials. They are divine pauses that serve a purpose you may not yet see. In the waiting, God is working. He is aligning the right people, preparing the right opportunities, and shaping your heart for what He has already prepared for you. It is in the moments when nothing seems to be happening that heaven is often the busiest. God never wastes time, even when it feels like you are standing still. His timing is perfect, and when it finally comes together, you will see that every delay was a divine setup for something greater. We live in a world that glorifies speed. We want everything instantly, answers, results, breakthrough, success. But God's process does not follow the world's pace. He is not interested in rushing your destiny. He is interested in readying your spirit. The delay is not a punishment, it's protection. There are blessings you cannot yet carry because your character, patience, or faith still need growth. God delays certain things to make sure you are mature enough to handle what He is about to give you. He will not release a promise that would destroy you if received too soon. His delays are an expression of His mercy. Think about the story of Lazarus. Jesus deliberately delayed His arrival when He heard that His friend was sick. To everyone watching, it seemed cruel and confusing. They thought He came too late. But when Jesus finally arrived, He revealed the true purpose of the delay. It was not death, it was divine demonstration. The delay allowed the miracle to have greater glory. If Jesus had come immediately, Lazarus would have been healed, but because He delayed, Lazarus was resurrected. The waiting multiplied the wonder. In the same way, God's delays in your life are designed to magnify His glory through your testimony. Sometimes the delay is not about what God is doing for you, but what He is doing in you. Waiting seasons refine your heart and strengthen your trust. When everything flows easily, you don't learn faith, you enjoy comfort. But when everything slows down and you can't see the outcome, you learn to depend completely on Him. In the delay, you learn to pray deeper, to listen closer, to trust harder. You discover that your relationship with God is not built on results, but on relationship. Delays strip away pride and self-reliance and replace them with humility and surrender. Waiting also gives God time to arrange things in your favor. Sometimes the people you need to meet aren't ready yet. The opportunities you are meant to walk into still need to be built. You may be praying for a position that doesn't even exist yet. God is not only preparing you, He's preparing the environment that will receive you. What feels like a standstill is actually synchronization. Heaven is coordinating everything so that when the door finally opens, everything will align perfectly. It's easy to grow weary in the waiting. You might look around and wonder why others are moving faster, receiving sooner, or achieving more. But remember, this comparison kills contentment, and impatience can lead to premature movement. Abraham tried to rush God's promise and produced Ishmael instead of Isaac. Don't let impatience rob you of God's best. When you trust His timing, you will receive what was meant for you in fullness, not fragments. And when God finally says, no, everything changes in an instant. What took years to build in silence can manifest in a moment of divine acceleration. You will look back and realize that every season of waiting had purpose. Every not yet was leading to a perfect no. The beauty of divine timing is that when it happens, you won't have to strive for it. It will flow effortlessly because it was appointed by God. So if you find yourself in a delay today, don't lose heart. The same God who ordered your steps knows exactly when to bring you into your next season. When the time is right, no power on earth can stop what He has set in motion. Beloved, through every stage of your journey, remember this truth: your life is not moving by chance, but by divine direction. Every step, every season, every joy, and every tear has purpose. God is not random, He is intentional. He is the master orchestrator who sees the end from the beginning and works all things together for your good. Even when the road feels unclear, even when the waiting stretches longer than expected, even when the doors close and people walk away, He is still leading you. The 6 signs we have shared are not just lessons, they are reminders that God is actively involved in your story. When He stirs your heart with holy discontent, He's preparing you for greater. When He closes a door, He's protecting your destiny. When He sends divine connections, He's aligning your path. When He fills you with peace that surpasses understanding, He's confirming His will. When He opens doors you could never open, He's revealing His favor. And when He delays your breakthrough, He's arranging the perfect timing for your blessing. So don't be discouraged if the path seems uncertain right now. You are not lost, you are being led. The same God who guided Abraham through the desert Joseph through the prison, and Ruth through the fields is the same God directing your steps today. He has not forgotten you, and He never will. The detours are divine, the delays are deliberate, and the destination is sure. Walk with faith, trust His timing, and rest in His peace. Because when God orders your steps, every place your feet touch becomes holy ground. Let your heart be anchored in this promise. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way. Every breath, every movement, every season is a step closer to the purpose He designed for you long before you were born. Thank you, dear friends, for opening your hearts and allowing me to share this word with you today. My prayer is that you walk out of here not just encouraged, but anchored in the assurance that God is guiding you even when you cannot see the path ahead. May you go forth with renewed faith, unshakable peace, and the courage to trust His hand in every chapter of your life. God bless you, keep you, and continue to direct your steps every single day of your journey. Thank you, and may His grace go with you always.